Welcome! My name is Kelly, and this is Fanimated, an animation fan podcast where we get to geek out about our favorite animated media. And I am so excited today to be talking about a ton of anime with very experienced anime watchers and nerds. And this is Corey and Nick from This Just Anime. How are you guys?
Oh no.
Nick, why do you sound so sad?
You said very experienced, and I warned you.
I didn't say professional. I said very experienced.
This is true.
Okay, I guess, you might not be that wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to have you on the show. Well, I say you're very experienced, because you guys watch a lot of anime. Like, that's just a fact, right?
Nick watches literally everything.
Too much.
I get lucky and just watch like most of everything, but Nick watches everything.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Well, I know I appreciate all of the hard anime watching work you do, because your guys' podcast, you talk about everything, you rank everything every season. So tell my listeners about your show and where they can find you and kind of what your guys' show is all about.
Yeah, so we host This Just Anime podcast. It's a podcast all about anime all the time. That's our tagline. So if you are into anime, then you might like our show. We're kind of like Fanimated's like weird cousin, maybe, who swears a bit too much. But yeah, if you the listener are super into anime, then come on over to This Just Anime podcast, because we talk about just pretty much anything and everything in anime. Most of the time, like the current season that's going on. So really more so current events. But yeah, that's pretty much our show in a nutshell.
We do a lot of ranking of everything early in the season, so I feel like our power cast is like our claim to fame.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I mean, I will go through your Powercast just to see, like, oh, what anime do you have ranked really high that I haven't seen? Maybe I should check those out when I'm looking for something new to watch, which is, again, was why I appreciate that you watch so much of it and kind of help for everyone else, like, filter out maybe the ones we shouldn't be watching.
Well, we always say that, like, you should take some of those with a grain of salt. We actually want people to disagree with us sometimes.
Yeah.
We don't try to place too many gripes on a lot of the shows, and just in case like somebody's really enjoying something that we're just ragging on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we do rank every show. So
yeah, that is an impressive feat. So definitely well done.
Thank you.
Yes. And I do think a lot of my listeners, not all of my listeners watch anime. We do obviously a lot of other animation media discussions, but for those who do watch anime, go listen to This Just Anime, because, you're going to get a lot of that fill up your anime nerd meter a little more than you will here on Fanimated. Because I love anime and talk about it maybe too much for a non-anime specific podcast, but you guys have it covered for sure. So today we're like nearing the end of the year, reflecting back on this whole year, and I really, really wanted to have you guys on the show and just talk about, what were the best shows to us, like what were our favorites of the year. So we're going to go through season by season. We'll start with the winter and go through spring, summer, fall. And I've asked you guys to just kind of pick, all right, what was the best new anime and the best returning anime of each season. And so it'll be fun to just see what you guys thought of, and we'll see, based off of how much I may have watched or may not have watched, what I have too. And so that'll just kind of end up with like a good list of, I think probably a good balanced list of what was really good this year and what people still need to check out if they haven't already, and kind of do a nice rounded review, I guess, of 2021 and what it looked like in anime terms.
Sweet, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So are you guys ready. Do you guys have your lists and you're ready to go?
Yeah, if I didn't have the list, I would have forgotten every show that came out. So
Yes.
luckily, I do have the list.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely, even looking back through like what even came out, I kind of forgot about some already.
There are so many titles. I immediately just like sat down, watched, and like, oh, I really enjoyed that, and then just completely forgotten that it existed.
I feel like this episode is going to be a lot of just remembering and reminiscing, maybe.
Yes, and that's good. You know, you gotta reminisce back on the year and all of the good anime times. So diving into winter, I feel like a lot of, just right off the bat, I feel like a lot of people, and you guys might agree or disagree, say that like winter was one of the best seasons of anime in a long time. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, winter was a
sure.
good season for sure.
I would agree as well. Winter was just like full of some really great stuff. So let's see, who wants to go first with what their favorite new anime was in winter?
I was gonna say like nose goes, and then I realized that
Nose goes. Nose goes.
Oh yeah, I can roll.
Yeah, go,
I can
Corey.
roll first if we want.
Go for it.
There were three at the top for me for new shows in winter, and one of them is one that I think we can all agree is great. Kelly, I know you had an episode on Skate the Infinity,
Yes.
and it is like I went out and bought a skateboard like an idiot after watching that show.
Yes.
Because it was that phenomenal.
Absolutely. Like what made it the best of the season for you?
It's such a hard thing to quantify, but it feels like this lovely blend of new and familiar. Like it's got a shonen sports feel wrapped in like a bright colors Okinawa skater culture love letter that I didn't want to stop watching. And then like on top of that, it got surprisingly deep toward the end.
Yes, it definitely did. Definitely did.
No, I 3000% agree. Skating Infinity was one of the best this season for sure. It was really colorful and vibrant, and yeah, and it's considering it's a Bones title as well. I mean, Bones never misses.
Oh, they don't. Yeah.
They just do everything really well. I mean, it maybe was just expected that it would be kind of a sleeper hit for Bones. Honestly, it wasn't a something that was coming out that you thought like that's going to be like just a mega hit.
Right.
But it turned out to be something that was pretty spectacular. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll just like use that as like a segue into my favorite new anime, which was also Skate the Infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would surprise too many people who listen to this podcast. Although Horimiya was a close second for me. But Skate the Infinity just brought so much utter joy to my viewing experience. And this is one of the only examples I can think of where I'm very adamantly like promoting the English dub.
The dub is ridiculous.
It's so good, so fun, and I mean that's kind of the point of the show too. It's just everything's fun. So it was one of the most enjoyable anime experiences that I've had this year, and I just highly recommend it to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Nick, what about you?
Yeah, I had a different overall favorite. Skate the Infinity was definitely near the top for me, alongside Horimiya for sure. And if you want to throw Jujutsu Kaisen in there, even though technically I would consider that a 2020 show because the season started at the end of 2020 and just continued on into the winter season. My favorite show of the winter season was probably Wonder Egg Priority.
Oh, yes.
Which is another title that kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody really knew what to expect. I forget what the tagline was exactly when the season was getting underway, but I think it was literally just like one sentence, and you were all you could do was sit there and be like, I have no idea what the show's going to be about. I have just absolutely no idea.
I mean, even through the first episode, I was like, I have no
still
idea
had no
what this
idea.
show's about.
Still had no idea. But it ended up being a really, really very interesting subversion of the magical girl formula.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it ended up being one of my, like, probably my favorite show from the winter season, and still might be one of my top 5 shows for the year, just period.
Wow. Yeah. I watched half of it, but then I did kind of fall off. Like, I'll say that I really, really enjoyed the visuals of Wonder Egg Priority. It's
Hmm.
absolutely stunning, and it is a very like unique idea. They're like they can kind of be in these crazy settings and crazy monsters and things. So I didn't like see the whole show through, but I have heard like my roommate, for example, watched the whole thing and she was like, I don't think the ending landed for me. So what about the story, the overall story, and really landed for you? Because it sounds like, despite maybe what some people think, you
Well,
really enjoyed it. So
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Your roommate might be kind of correct on the ending.
okay.
It
Yeah,
didn't
that's
exactly.
fair.
It didn't exactly land on its 2 feet
Mm-hmm.
that well. But for whatever reason, just the rest of the ride for me put it over the top with some other series that came out this year.
That's awesome.
And I was just looking at the rest of the year, kind of in a review, and I was just thinking, like, man, even though the ending was kind of just ridiculous and I don't know what to think about it, and it genuinely just needs more. We
Mm-hmm.
need more Wonder Egg Priority to get a good idea of where to, I guess, adequately rank it, maybe. Um, but still, I don't know. There's something about it that still leaves it in the top 5 for me, or at least like at the very top for the winter season. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. So it's worth everything. Like the journey is worth the destination, basically.